Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. And today here I am in front of my house, in front of this tree. This is a dragon fruit. And this dragon fruit tree is what we're going to be talking about today because we're going to go to my neighbor's yard who for years had dragon fruit that was thriving. But this year something happened that is not thriving. And we're going to look at that because I'm about to replant dragon fruit and I just want to talk to you a little about this. So before we go over to my neighbor's yard, I ran out of room, and dragon fruit is a pretty good tree that you could do in pots. If you look on the internet, there's some people doing it in a pot successfully. There's so many different varieties of dragon fruit. It's a really exciting fruit to grow once you figure out how to do it, and the fruit tastes amazing. My neighbor's trees gets hundreds and hundreds of fruits on his trees. But this one here, I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you of the system I did it, and there's a lot of different people online that's talking about how to do these trellis systems inside a pot, and it's been successful to me. I haven't been watering these trees as much as I should, and I was almost going to get rid of them, but they look like they're doing well. And then I'm going to show you how my neighbor does his. So check this out. So there is my dragon fruit in a 25-gallon container. And I have this wood here, and it really sticks to wood really nicely. You can see that. Now I put these tie straps on here at first to first hold it up. I could probably move them now, and it'll still stick. And at the top here, I just have a square, and I copied this model from the internet, and as you can see, it's working fine. So that's in a pot, dragon fruit, and it's doing well. And I hardly even water this. I'm going to start watering it more this year. And if I want to take a cutting here, I could just put that one in the ground, which I'm going to show you right now where I'm going to do that. And besides that one, I also have another one over here. So that one's growing well in a pot also. And it was really an experiment to grow them in a pot and see how they'll do. And these have taken a lot of abuse, but they're hanging in there because I've really messed around with this and didn't keep it really as steady as I should. I need to add some dirt and clean it up there. But that's my plan. We're going to go take a look at my neighbor's yard now and see what he's done with his dragon fruit. But you can do it in a pot if you want to. And I've been to other yards where they don't even put a square up top. They just put a one bar and they let it go over. So let's go to my neighbor's house and talk to him about his dragon fruit and the problems he ran into. All right, buddy, this is my neighbor, and he has amazing dragon fruit all the time, but this year he didn't have amazing dragon fruit. How long have you been growing dragon fruit for on this property?
Probably about 7 years here.
And now I remember you have many different varieties here, right?
Right, that's right.
And somebody was asking, is it self-pollinating all the varieties or some of them?
Well, the ones I have, the really good ones, I pollinate them by hand. Now, some of them are self-pollinating, and some of them are not. If you notice, these two are in pretty good shape, but it won't be long before that mango tree and this mango tree covers this up. So maybe this might be the last year, and this one here will get covered up eventually. So when I planted it, of course, I didn't realize that.
So they need a lot of sun?
Yeah, they need a lot of sun. But if you take a look on the ground, right now we're trimming everything because it gets fungus. If you're not, I should have sprayed it. You see that? That's some kind of a fungus on there, and that's killing them. So I had sprayed them for years, every year, a couple times a year. And the last 2 years, I don't think I sprayed them. And immediately, you see what happened? Wiped them out practically. Come take a look at these other ones we got somewhere
Now,
else.
how long did it take when you planted them
From the
before
time you
before you got
from the
fruit?
time you plant them in the ground till the time they fruit, about 2 years, the good conditions. But
And
then they fruit a lot. I'm getting about 100 dragon fruit a month out of these, and
but only 2 months out of the year.
about three,
3 months out of the
maybe,
year.
and then 3 months heavily, and then still a little before and a little after. So you're getting a few early. Then the peak of the season, you got 2 months of a ton of them.
Now, where'd you get the varieties you got?
Different places around. I've got American Beauty. I've got Natural Mystic. I've got Zamorano. Zamorano is a good pollinator. It's a deep blood red one. But there's a lot of different varieties I have. I can't even tell you what I got because I don't remember.
Now, there's a lot on there. I mean, how many varieties did you put on this one
Well,
post? Because there's so many.
Each side of one of these square cubes, I put one or two different varieties on. Now, if I had to do it over again, there's some of the varieties I would never use. when I first started out, somebody said I should get the Vietnamese white as a good pollinator. Well, it's true, it's a good pollinator, but the fruit tastes like crap. I mean, I wouldn't even eat them. But what I have found out is Zamorano is a beautiful dark red one, not as big, but it's a great pollinator also, and at least it's edible. You know what I mean? It actually tastes pretty good, a lot better than the Vietnamese white. So every one of these posts have got a Vietnamese white. I don't know which one they are, but this year, when I find out, when they fruit again, I'm cutting it out.
And when you cut it out, you got to dig it out?
Well, I'll just chop it off down there on the bottom and it'll die off.
Okay, and now, I remember when you were putting these in the post you use. Tell us about the post.
Now these posts, Paul, you know about these. I built these. I built a frame and poured concrete, and in the middle of the post is steel, rebarb. I'll show you on this other one.
Okay, and real quick, how often do you water them?
Well, they don't really, you don't see, I have no watering at all on these. I did put them on irrigation on the rest of them over here, and that helped.
So you did notice a difference?
I did notice a difference. It helped. But, you know, these work pretty good too, you know?
Sure. And what's holding them up in the top?
I'm going to show you when we go next door.
All right, let's go. So next door you have more, but the ones next door you actually trim back more.
Right.
Because you're cleaning them right now.
And then we'll be able to see them.
Okay.
Here's a perfect example of what they look like. I got this design from the commercial growers down in Miami, out in the Redlands. They've got big farms. It's exactly how they made them. So I took concrete, poured it, I put this steel rebarb in and out, and then I put a motorcycle tire in there. So each one of these posts cost me about $14 to make myself.
Wow.
And these are lifetime, you know, they'll withstand hurricane or anything. And they take a lot of weight. These things weigh a lot. Whenever this is filled out, you're talking, it could be 300 pounds up here. So this one here is, looks like I cut it off with the weed eater, so it's dying, unfortunately.
Now, if you cut it off with the weed eater down there, will it grow roots back into the ground, or you got to
I don't know. It's my first experience with it, but I'm going to try to grow this again because these are those yellow Ecuadorian, really wonderful ones.
I heard the yellow ones don't grow as well here in Florida. I can't confirm that.
Well, you can see it doesn't look as healthy.
But you never had yellow ones growing here.
No, just this is it, but it's not doing so good. But
it never gave you fruit, the yellow one.
Because it hasn't been in the
Now,
ground.
this is cement, and so this sticks to the cement.
Right.
So what else does it stick to, and what won't it stick to? Will it stick to wood?
I think, yeah, it sticks to wood. It sticks to all kinds
Plastic?
of stuff. Probably.
Okay.
But now you can take a look. You see, these are all died off because of probably from some kind of fungus. So what we're doing now is we're cutting them all back in the hopes that, and then I'm going to spray them with copper today and hope that they're going to all come back, and we'll know by summertime. Might even get fruit off of these this year.
And every year they pretty much, like this branch, they look beautiful like this one. They were coming over a lot.
Well, that's the ones we just looked
yeah.
at.
And then when you cut them every year you would trim them back, and then they would grow back. But this year they didn't grow back. That happened.
Well, it's just because it hasn't had a chance. It's not quite right time. But they are going to grow back, I think, and starting right now.
Even with the fungus, they'll grow back?
Well, look, you can see they're starting already. Look.
Okay.
See that little head coming out right now? I think they're going to grow back.
And when you planted these, this looks like a little triangle here. How many feet apart are these, and does it matter?
Well, you wouldn't want them any closer than this, because at this point they'll almost touch each other when they come out.
Do you know how far you planted them, and why did you do it that way? Is that the way they did it on the farm, or you just...
Well, yeah, this is how they did it on the farm.
Same distance?
About the same. I didn't measure anything. I just popped them in. This actually was a peach tree I had growing here, and I didn't like the variety, so I took it out. By the way, you should take a look at these peach trees while you're here. Look at all the peaches on them.
Okay, we'll do that as well. So what else do you want to say about dragon fruit?
They're excellent, and they are really wonderful. I love them.
Now, if people can't figure out or don't have the access to get concrete poles, I've seen people with wooden poles. I've grown them in a pot in a wooden pole.
Right.
So have you seen what works or doesn't work?
This is the best option. That's why the commercial growers use it. But, you know, I mean, I actually make some of these for different people. And I charge about $200 each. So it's expensive. But the wooden ones are probably $100.
If somebody's here in South Florida and they want one of these, can they contact you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, okay. And you got 1, 2, 3, and then here's a fourth one here.
Yeah, 5 altogether right here. And
Now,
then
do you ever? What are you gonna spray on them?
just copper.
Copper.
Yeah, plain, organic type stuff.
All right, there. And I see you. Now, why do those have zip ties on them? Is that like when you began at first?
Right. Yeah, that's how long they've been there. When it was first growing up the pole, I tied them to it so that they wouldn't fall off.
And now they just stick. You wouldn't even need
Oh
the zip
yeah,
ties.
you can't even get them off without a crowbar, probably.
Right,
So you can see all the fungus on these we cleaned up. See all that?
So when you say you clean them up, this
Well,
is for the trash bin.
Right. I mean, we cut it up, and we're going to take and throw it away.
All right. Well, thank you, man. I'm going to put your contact info below if anyone wants to contact you.
Sounds great.
All right. Okay, everybody. This is my system that my neighbor helped me build. These 3 cement poles here for dragon fruit. And you can see there's no dragon fruit on them right now because the weeds were growing so much around them that I just had to stop and start all over and keep up on them. I put them way too close to the trees. I put the trees way too close to them. And this one's smaller because I tried to remove it and move it and I broke it, so I cut it in half. I have a smaller one here, but that's what the system looks like with the tire. You got these bars going through it. And these poles will last long, and like my neighbor said, this is what the professionals do. No hurricane or anything is going to knock them over. So these poles have been here from 8 of 2020. And I should have had a nice crop on them right now, but I didn't keep up with it. So I'm going to plant some dragon fruit around them and see how it goes. And you see the remaining dragon fruit of a previous one that I planted, but nothing's in the ground right now. So I got to find a way to keep, because it's hard to trim around the edge as they're growing because you don't want to break the dragon fruit. But as you can see, the dragon fruit does stick to the cement really well. And that's how they look. And that's the tire. This is exactly what my neighbor did next door. I also have this cool thing I'll show you. I have this big pine tree here. And it's very interesting. I planted a few dragon fruit on there, but it broke on the bottom, so it's not even really attached to the ground, but it's still growing. And you can see the dragon fruit's growing all the way up on the tree. Just an experimental thing. I heard they don't stick to pine as well, but this one seems to be sticking. And that piece actually is in the ground, and it is growing. Wow, we'll see what happens with that, but it went all the way up to the top. Amazing. I might experiment and try to put more dragon fruit around this whole thing. All right, so that's what's happening here with the dragon fruit. All right, I keep learning and loving all these different tropical fruit trees. And if you want to make a post, I'll try to find those posts and put the link below of how I made those posts for the pots. If you want to order some posts from my neighbor, I'll either put his contact information below or just comment in the comments below, and I'll have him get on there and give you his contact info, or at least his Facebook page, and maybe you can send him a message. If you live in South Florida, really go get these. This is the way to do it. This is the professional way to do them. Do you have dragon fruit? Are you growing it? What's your favorite varieties? And another thing about dragon fruit is they're not self-pollinating for the most part. Now there's a white one like my neighbor said he has, and a red one that will help pollinate the other ones really well, but those really don't taste well. I think he mentioned on the video that he had a white one that didn't taste well and a red one that did pollinate it, but I think it was the other way around. The dark red one doesn't taste good, at least his didn't, and his white one was so-so. His pink one, that was the amazing one. So one of the things he did is he just put a whole bunch of varieties all together. I wouldn't do it that way. I'd like to figure out what varieties what and get them each on each pole and see how they go. All right. Let me know your experience with dragon fruit. If you have comments or questions, post them below. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe so you can be part of this community here with helping each other learn how to grow fruit trees. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day and keep growing.